I'm say, hear me now. THICKMAN used to split him world in a two half. When we a screw him, make we laugh, yeah.
CJB.
When we tell him say we can't, him tell we say we smart. Break we heart we see your pass off. When the preacher pray over THICKMAN body, hey, so we know we lose a friend. It hurt with we heart, life
TJB.
won't be the same. So we know we lose a friend. So we know we lose a friend, lose a friend.
Welcome to True Jamaica Buzz, news and entertainment with a buzz. The voice or audio that you heard is from a dub plate that was allegedly done by high octane dancehall artist, reggae artist for THICKMAN. THICKMAN is a don or was a don of one artist that lost his life a couple of days ago. Now, people, I don't know the circumstances in which this dub plate was done. Don't know if this is a splice dub plate using high octane song and then inserting, splicing THICKMAN's name inside to make it sound as if it was dedicated to THICKMAN. Well, people, here's the thing. When I get videos or audios, especially from the police, it tells me that they take it personal. Just like that video that was circulating with that young lady, her name is Queen, exotic dancer, that put out a video and threatened the JCF that people are going to dead for the takeaway of THICKMAN. So I say this to say this. I octane dancehall reggae artists. If you did indeed do this dub plate, well, you need to come out and address it. Address the circumstances in which this dub plate was done. If you did not do this dub plate, then you have to still come out and address it and make them know, say, I splice the voice. But here's the problem with that. You have long been associated with one other Spanish Town, Klansman, wherever. And I understand that you are a dancehall reggae artist, and I understand that a lot of ways that a lot of these dance try to learn that the money is getting involved in the music business. And I understand if you're from a particular era, specifically Spanish Town, and the people them call you, you are pretty much stuck between a rock and a hard place. So therefore, it is damned if you do or damned if you don't. If you don't record, especially when the people think that you respect the done, when the people know that you know the done, not going to say that you're a part of their gang. However, there's some sorts of affiliation, some sorts of relationship in the past, whether it be through music or just friends. Your friend do not have to be your business associate. So we kind of understand I am not making any sorts of pass for anybody, me just say. Here's the thing when it comes to this now. We can't blame these artists, and I'm not saying that it is justified. But when we look at the history of what has been going on in Jamaica, we see that the politicians have long used these dons to monitor the place, govern the place, get vote. Vote is power, money is power. It is a symbiotic relationship, meaning that one hand washes the other. You get them the vote gets them the money and the power, and then they give it or trickle it back down to the dons. So it is one hand washing the other. So therefore, if these politicians, specifically in the case of Spanish Town, one particular MP or politician's name has been linked with one other THICKMAN amongst other gangsters in a Spanish Town, and that is BABSY Grange. We've seen history of politicians, MPs, leader of opposition, leader of the leading party, going to the funerals of dons, linking with dons. So therefore, we should not be surprised. When it comes to Jamaica, it is a anything goes, and money is power, and people with power link together to keep power and keep money. So we cannot really bash these dancehall artists because it is a culture in Jamaica where we see that dance and politicians have been linking. one order, one link, everything. The same thing as it pertains to dancehall artists. The same thing as it pertains to reggae artists. But me just as say, based on the culture and the climate that is changing presently, you see that anybody that calls up or big up THICKMAN name or any other than the police is going to go for them. And I Octane have been one of those artists that have been on the blacklist or watch list by the Popo, and then this comes out, it is only going to make his situation worse. Don't be surprised if he gets blacklisted. Now, our next very important thing that we have to watch in all of this is how BABSY Grange, the MP for Spanish Town that era, handles this, handles the nine-night, and most importantly, the final send-off. Is she actually going to pay her respects? Because we see she's been losing respect. She has been losing ground. We saw that after THICKMAN lost his life and everybody the place in a shambles, the police had talked about state of emergency. She came out and made a declaration saying that everything is back in order, literally. People can go on with their life, go on with their work, go on with their social life, everything. Then we saw that the police made a statement and then implement a state of emergency. Now the thing is that, like I said, she's been losing ground. She had the place governed. She was the actual Don, if you want to call her that. So we are going to see how she handles this final send-off for THICKMAN. But we know these people are skilled in the art of being conniving and hypocritical. So people, let's see how this plays out. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, it is called, if you are a country that is really serious about crime and corruption, nobody is above the law, and by nobody I mean the rich and the powerful. Any and everybody can be arrested. Any and everybody can be investigated. Any and everybody can be convicted. I am going to give you a perfect example of what took place in Trinidad and Tobago, where the commissioner of police, her name is Erla Harewood Christopher, she was arrested in some sort of sniper rifle scandal. The thing is that she was arrested by the deputy commissioner of police, Suzette Martin. Suzette Martin marched the elite squad into the parliament, arrested the commissioner of police. She is presently in a lockup, undergoing investigation. I want you to take a look to what the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Suzette Martin, has to say, and some other high-ranking officials from the Office of the Police in Trinidad and Tobago. And then I'll give my piece.
The Commissioner of Police, Ms. Erla Harewood Christopher, has been arrested and detained along with ex-SSA Director Roger Best over the past few days. We understand that this has raised significant public concern, and we are committed to providing as much information as possible while respecting the ongoing investigation.
At this stage, we're investigating the unlawful procurement of firearms and accessories, and that will take us into the offense of misbehavior in public office, but it is not exhaustive. As the investigation continues, we may be looking at other offenses, and that will be subject to consultation, or I should say continued consultation with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions.
Now people, note, this is Trinidad and Tobago, small island. This is not a first world country like America, Canada, UK. Trinidad and Tobago might be a little better financially, much better managed, much better financially than Jamaica. However, we should have been on the same scale or so. You saw the Deputy Commissioner of Police went and arrest with her elite squad, the Commissioner of Police. Do you think that could ever happen? And of course, she went with the elite squad just in case something pop off. It is better to be prepared, better to be safe than sorry. Try to think about this happening in Jamaica. Try to think about how much police have done all sorts of extrajudicial takeaway. Think about the justice minister, security minister, don't want the police to wear any sorts of body camera. Don't investigate the SSL criminals. We've seen finance minister, we've seen or heard the government saying that based on the SSL scandal, they are going to make sure that they get to the bottom of the investigation. All that are involved are going to be locked up, convicted. One of the main victims in this was Usain Bolt, legendary sprinter, lost in excess of, I think, 12 million US dollars. We thought that at least they would pay him, show him some sorts of respect, patriotism for what he has done. Not to say that other victims did not lose and their loss is not just as great, but me just assure you, they respect nobody but themselves. When was the last time have you seen any public official getting arrested? Any public official doing any time? Any public official getting conviction? When is the last time you saw any sorts of high-profile criminals, whether it is in some sorts of scandal in the bank, scandals such as investment in SSL? When was the last time you seen them getting arrested, even question and answer session? Maybe that is at best. So I just assure you, this is what happens when persons are serious about crime and corruption. They will take down anybody. Anybody is an equal opportunity suspect. People at lower ranks can go for people at higher ranks. So I say this to say that had this been Jamaica, well, as a matter of fact, it could never happen in a Jamaica. You cannot even perceive this happening. Because a lower ranking officer, as in the deputy, would not have the audacity, the balls, intestinal fortitude to even try something like this. Because he himself or she herself would have been reprimanded by government officials that put these people, puppet on a string, into place so that it is convenient for them. People, it is not by chance that we see what is going on in Jamaica. It is a whole corrupted thing. It is the body club. Everybody one hand wash the other. Everybody looks out for each other. It is the badge of corruption, meaning the JCF, meaning the politicians, meaning people with power, such as the SSL. So that is why I say that stuff like this can never, ever, ever happen in Jamaica. Because these people put people into place. That is a part of the agenda. That is a part of the corruption. This body clubs, it is true. Body club, it is true. People set up themselves so that they can get rich. They say that crime don't pay. That is if you're a low-level criminal. When it comes to criminals in high places, such as politicians, such as police, commissioner, and all of them, politician, police, and all of these people with power, meaning the SSL people. It is one body club. They're all under one umbrella. Each one is going to look out for each one. So therefore, there will be no sorts of fall. The only thing that is going to fall is Jamaica and the depth that it is going to be in when these people finish with us. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, it is called There is Reasons for Concern. It seems as if members of the JCF, JDF, they are getting from bad to worse, and this is based on scientific statistics. Survey that was done. In 2024, January, there were 13 takeaway by the police. Fast forward a year later, 2025, 28, that is in excess of 100% more than the previous year. So we see said Jamaicans for Justice, Miss Jackson, she came out and she's making her opinion be known, saying that she has the same view as Indicom that members of the JCF are supposed to wear body cameras when they are going on operations. It is said that of 40% of the operations included in 2025, there was no body cameras that are worn. So therefore, there is something problematic. It seems as if the police has something that they want to hide, or there's just a deliberate attempt to refuse to wear body cameras. And what is the negativity that you can find? I want you to take a listen, take a look to exactly what Miss Jackson has to say as it pertains to that. She has the same views as Indicom, and then I'll give my piece.
What the JFJ is calling for is for the utilization and activation of body-worn cameras because it provides for independent account of what may have taken place. Based on data coming from Indicom, the country would have also seen where 40% of fatal shootings were as a result of planned operations. Now, planned operations, by their very nature, suggest that it is intelligence-driven and there is an element of surprise. The fact that in a lot of these planned operations, if body-worn cameras were being worn, they were not being activated, and therefore Indicom was not able to get the footage necessary to have that independent account of what may have taken place. And I want to reiterate the call that some of the provisions that are in the protocol governing the body-worn cameras, perhaps they need to be included in the Jamaica Constabulary Force Act or be made into a standalone legislation, because certainly we have to get to a stage wherein the mandatory wearing of body-worn cameras and the activation of it ought to be governed by law.
So people, you heard what the lady had to say. And this is a problem that I find with a lot of Jamaicans. They feel as if Jamaicans for justice. They feel as if Indicom is the enemy of the police. Indicom is blocking the police from doing their job. But here are the facts. You cannot allow persons that are indiscriminate, lack conscience, to just monitor themselves. Even with Jamaica for Justice, even with Indicom, we see that there are a whole bunch of questionable takeaway of the police, extrajudicial, them call it. So therefore, just imagine those two bodies not there. The police will be wilder than they are. Jamaica would have become the wild, wild west. So we just have to say, with everything, laws, there has to be protocols that are followed. And if you don't follow these protocols and you cannot monitor yourself, you will have to assign bodies such as Jamaican for Justice, such as Indicom. So not because you're Indicom or not because you're Jamaican for Justice means that you're anti-police. That is stupid thinking. This is how justice is supposed to be monitored in any country, including Jamaica. So here's the thing. While we do not oppose the police taking swift action, the police taking away criminal elements, gunmen, murderers, dons, persons that are notorious criminals, you cannot just use one broad brush and paint everybody. You are going to take up persons that are not guilty of any sorts of crime. And yes, I understand that Jamaica is very bad, and I understand that young people, old people, pregnant people, women, kids are losing their lives at an alarming rate, and these criminals out here are indiscriminate. But injustice against one person is no sort of justice, according to sensible people. You have to decide what kind of category you fall in. So people, me just say, we realize that desperate times calls for desperate measures, and we see that the people in Jamaica scared, and we see that we need to do something, put down our foot, and take away the persons that we know are known criminals, verified, validated criminals, but you cannot be taking away innocent people and then cover it up. What is the negative that can come from these officers wearing body camera? Nothing as far as I know. If you know something different, let me know in the comment section. So what this lady is saying that they want it to be mandatory, especially When you're going on special planned operation, that means you know beforehand you are not caught off guard. Want to make it mandatory that officers that don't turn on their cameras, body cameras, are to be held liable. And people talk about lie. We know that these JCF officers, even if it becomes mandatory, they are going to say the camera lost, they're going to fling it away in a sea, fling it away in a bush, they're going to claim so the Jeep, run over it, rate it, lay. But that is a next topic for our next day. Me just as say. Do the right thing or the wrong thing is going to do. You're always going to have controversy, conflicts, and all sorts of drama. There's a way to avoid this. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Bless up.